What's going on, guys? It's Toby A here for another video. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, share, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Toby_A, and I will do my best to communicate and follow back. And love to hear from you. And if you have any comments, please leave in the comment section so we can kind of talk, and hopefully you guys can give me some insight on what I could potentially do better, moving forward. But the style is going to be a little bit different today, because while I was working on the engine, one was kind of there at the shop with me. I was doing it, but he was like trying to hurry, get me to work quickly and get out of there. Unfortunately, because of that, I wasn't able to get like in detail footage of me actually working on it, exactly what I was doing, but I did get a good amount just so I can be able to show you like how things looked at certain stages of the building process. There are going to be a few videos that's going to have me speaking over, because there was music playing in the background, and the last thing you want to do is get flagged by YouTube. Yeah, I don't want any copyright issues. So without further ado, I'm gonna start off with some updates to the car, what I got in preparation for the build, and then go into putting the motor together, at least making some changes so it's a little bit more interesting. So here we go. All right, let's get started. So this first picture is of the upper radiator support. This is the passenger side. As you can see, it's completely broken. One side is completely disconnected from the other, so you already know this is complete garbage. First place this is going is inside dustbin. Garbage, right? So moving on to the next one. This is just me pointing out, things that I need to get done. Just mental markers that the upper radiator support has to go, right? The driver's side was a little bit better, but all in all, it had to go. Now, this is after I took the upper radiator support off, and as you can see, the front bumper that was broken is actually on the floor, and you can see the crash bar is completely straight, no damage. As you can see, the windshield is completely smashed, but that is something I'm just gonna have to address. I took the hood off because, like I said, most of that was just all junk, it's all garbage. The whole front end was completely trashed, so I had to take everything off. Even the driver's side front fender, that was garbage too. So as you can see on the floor, I took the seat that I told you that I took out last time. That's it on the floor over there. But on the floor, that's the front bumper and the new one that I have. And this is the driver's side, the front fender that I was telling you that needed to go. It was garbage. It was garbage, so it's gone. I just took it off immediately. The passenger side isn't good anyway, but I just left it alone. So I'm gonna pause right here so you can kind of see the little package on the wall, the little long skinny thing. That is actually of a APR front splitter that I bought, and that's for the front, and that's gonna go on later, right? And we're gonna continue on because the car is completely in the air on jack stands, and I'm going to pause again. Right now, you can see I have my brakes on the floor. Those are the S550s, where the new Mustang's 6-piston front brakes, and those are absolutely amazing. For as heavy as this car is, it stops the car very, very well. And that large box is another hood that I got for this car. And that long drive shaft that you see over there, that's actually carbon. So it's a very expensive piece. I got it just to try to keep weight down as much as possible. And the stock drive shaft is, number one, heavy, and two, is kind of clunky and it's not efficient. So I went with the carbon one, and yeah, I think it'll do a really good job. Okay, now that we're here, I gotta take off that fender. I think disconnect the little that I need here, and I'm gonna toss this and just clean her up a little bit more. Here, I've already put on the front brake caliper and rotor, and sitting pretty well. I know I still need to bleed the brakes, but that's gonna happen later. But for now, it's on. It's a used set, not brand new, but hey, it works. And it's gonna do more than I needed to do. So here is just an image of when I finished replacing out the windshield, because like I said, the other one was smashed. So I got another one and it looks perfect. And I test fit the wheels just to make sure they're gonna fit properly, especially this is in the back, but the front is, it gets a little bit close to the caliper, but just with the little spacer will give me enough room to clear it. Hey guys, task for the day. Gotta dig this car out of here. Wish me luck. First gotta clear up these things, put the tires on and put it on the ground. I'm gonna pick off pieces that I'm not gonna use and I'll toss them because it's time to make space in here. Oop, I missed. This looks so freaking good. Boss. Yeah. Let's put these on. Alright, we're good. So these are a few images of when I actually put the front headlights on, and I mocked up the front bumper just to make sure it fit properly and have a little bit of an idea of how it's supposed to look. And in my opinion, I think it looks really good. Now, this is where I started buying stuff. I got the oil pump gears and the crank sprocket. This is the manual wiring harness, and it actually came with an extra brand new flywheel. And then I got my Cobra Jet with the twin 67 throttle body and the JLT cold air intake.
The battery's like really weak.
This is just a picture of the motor, transmission, and clutch being yanked out from the donor car and being shipped to me. Look at my engine. Ooh. It looks so good. Transmission's right there. Just wait, I know it's dirty now, but as soon as I get some time, I'll be back to work on her. Can't wait. Finally getting started on the build. This Ripple is not mine. I'm considering buying it though because it looks so pretty on top of the motor. I'm gonna take this off and then take the headers off and get to work. Let's go. See, now look at that Whipple. Look at that Whipple sit on top of that engine. Please tell me you wouldn't be tempted to buy that for yourself. You couldn't tell me you didn't want it. All right, now that we're here, we've officially gotten the Whipple off, right? The Whipple is ridiculously heavy. You gotta be especially careful. So I used that blue tape to kind of cover those intake parts right there to make sure no dust or anything gets inside the engine. Got to get the headers off and the valve covers, take things off little by little. Got to get the water pump off. Once the water pump is off, then we can really start getting to tearing this thing apart. Get to work little by little, right? So the headers are off, right? The coil packs on this side are off, right? I got the water pump is off. So like I said, the coil packs are off. I haven't gotten the ones on this side off. But little by little, stuff is gonna come off. Like the dipstick, I had to get that off. And for, I believe that side, if you don't take the dipstick off, it won't come off. The valve cover will not come off, right? So like, yeah, look at all of that junk, yeah. So I'm just happy I took the water pump out, so I'm able to clean it. I got a brand new water pump to put in because I wouldn't want to have any type of issues with the water pump because I don't want that stress. So here we go, valve cover on, valve cover off. This is exactly what it looks like when the valve cover is off. It looks intimidating, but it's not so bad. It's wonderful. 2 cams there on this side, 2 cams on the other one, which makes 4 cams. The valve cover won't come off. I don't know why I was pulling it, but yeah, here we go. Okay, so now both valve covers are off, right? And now I need to get that front casing off. So I've taken off all the 10mm bolts, right? And then I left the 13s on so I can memorize and take a picture and mark which which positions all the 13mm bolts go, because I have to make sure I put them back exactly in that same spec. And here's a picture of what I did to make sure I remembered. And you can see one in the back. He hates cameras, guys. He hates it. So that's why I had to do this. So I finally got it off. And this is what we're looking at now. To be honest with you, I was very much intimidated because it's a lot of stuff going on here. It's a lot of stuff. So we got to make markings for where the timing chains are supposed to be. Those are the cams, the new cams on the floor there. Okay, just a quick walk around just to show you my progress. Little by little, I got one off. Got the timing chain on one side off, so I have to go work on the left this time. So just little by little, just giving you a little bit of a view of it. It's not that bad, and try to make sure you have the instructions, because if you do, it makes it a whole lot easier. So at least you have an idea of what goes next in what order, right? Because if not, you are going to be messed up unless you already know how to do it. So this is a little bit further on. I got both of the timing chains off and got the VCT off, and now I just gotta see there they go on the floor. So I came back over there, and now it's just to take the cams out and swap them back. So now I'm putting it back in. This is one side going in little by little, and now we got to flip it over for the other. So at this point, I've already replaced one side. I didn't record that because it was a really meticulous process. You got to make sure you torque every single bolt down to spec. So I still have to do the other side, right? I still have to do the crank sprocket and oil pump gears, but for right now, the new cams are in. Look how shiny they are. Another reason why you got to be really careful is that there's specific positions where the cams are supposed to be in when you're installing them, and you have to make sure you return them exactly to that, or else nothing will work right. And make sure you try to lubricate the cams in all the positions that they're supposed to make sure everything moves properly and there isn't any type of unnecessary friction. It wasn't bad at all, actually. It wasn't bad. So now that I've lubricated everywhere, well, I haven't yet. I'm going to once I turn the camera off. Then I'll bolt everything back up, torque everything down, and here we are. Both sides are in. Look at that. Torque down. She's almost ready to be wrapped up. I won't lie to you guys, I am too excited to have this thing pretty much done and just about ready to put in the car. Okay, sit rep. The timing chains are in. Comp cams are in. Make sure everything was timed properly. Everything lines up. Primary, secondary, everything lines up on crank. Make sure all of these were torqued down as they should be. And now to get the sealant, put the timing cover on, and oil pan, and then valve cover, and we're wrapping this up. Okay, it's back on. Time to cover it up and call it a night. Okay, so the motor is completely put back together now, as you can see from the picture. From the area where the water pump was, I tried cleaning it, but nothing came off. So I'm just gonna have to rock it like that. I put my Cobra Jet on and put my water pump back on, and we're ready to go. So at this point, like, I was so ready to get done with the build, ready to be put in the car. I was too geeked for it. Unfortunately, I was doing this on Snapchat and I had music on in the background, so you couldn't hear it. So I put my clutch on. The transmission was on the floor somewhere, but I was gonna put that on later. But towed the car to the shop so I could put it in, and later on that day I did put it in, as you can see. when you're putting in motors, you always have to have your Dos Equis. So as an update, the motor is officially in the car. You have no idea how excited I am because now it's about to get real. The fun is about to begin. Next becomes tuning and then wiring. Well, wiring was a bit of a pain in the ass, but you're gonna see in future videos. Keep tuned for the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time.